Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, now Sunday morning, April 20th, 21st. And we are here for the post-fight for Haney versus Garcia. The fight just wrapped up a short while ago, and I had to listen to some of the post-fight in the ring comments by the fighters before I decided to come on. That's why I delayed it a few minutes. For some who may be thinking like, oh, Stormy is not going to do the post-fight now. No, I'm going to do the post-fight. But they did stretch this out, didn't they? Why are we going on 1 a.m. Central Time and this card started at 8 p.m.? I mean, come on, man. 7 p.m. actually, to be honest. So, I mean, what's really going on with that? We need to get up out of that. The Zone, Eddie Hearn, stop the foolishness, man. Get us on our way where we don't have to cross over into a new day. Yeah. But yeah, the post-fight show for Haney versus Garcia, where we saw a tremendous upset where Ryan Garcia was able to come away with the victory, a unanimous decision victory over Devin Haney. He dropped Haney a couple of times in the later portion of the fight, hurt him early in the first round. Haney did not take the power of Ryan Garcia well at all. He was literally the worse for wear in each instance that he got caught with that vaunted left hook by Ryan Garcia. One of the interesting things that I noticed about this situation, when I did my pre-fight breakdown, I'm going to point out what Haney didn't do for the fight that I thought it was a sure lock that he would do. And we will address that, and also the fact that Garcia was able to come into this fight seemingly, even though we questioned a lot of what he was doing leading up throughout the promotion of the fight, even down to the weigh-in where he weighed in 3.2 pounds over the weight limit, so the title was not on the line, which was a weird thing within itself. Yeah. So, as we get ready for this, I'm not going to keep you all very long. We're going to break it down, but I want to acknowledge who we've got out there in the chat. See, the numbers are rising, swelling. There's people out here listening who are not necessarily subscribers to the channel and everything, but want to acknowledge the family out there. Jimmy Bernard is out there, Deacon Dollars, Shogun 76, Universal Truth, Todd Swindle, Main Event Mark, Jeff Spark, The Village Brother, Black Alpha, DLP, Antonio MMA, William Old School, No Underscore Levels, Adrian Viet, 88 Sports Talk, Antonio MMA. Where you been, brother? Where you been? B-Mac, Boxing and Barbecue, Lone Wolf Sports Forum, Jared 011 Green, T-Berry, Steph Brown, Akondo, Jay Gibson, King Styles Productions, The Messenger 215, Hen Dog, the Fearless One, Phenomenal Mexican. Let's see who else we got. I said Steph Brown, Chilltown Majors, Hustler Slim, Texas T346, Hen Dog, I said Hen Dog, Brian Peters, Jerome Truitt, Y.O. Hooks, who else? Isaiah GQ, The Village Brother, James Galbraith, Coach White, Todd Swindle. Salute to Steph Brown out there. That super chat says smash the like button. Chat family. And Curtis Price. Man, Curtis, where you been? Ain't seen you in a long time, brother. Long time. Curtis Price. Right on. 1,000. Amen. Yeah, that's what's up. And 503 Lion. What's going on? Yeah, first of all, hats off to Ryan Garcia, because he put it on Devin Haney, and once he recognized that Devin Haney, once he put it on, he recognized that Haney was very defensively irresponsible and didn't respect his power and his hook, and had got to a point where he was so reckless, Haney was gunning for trying to knock Ryan out. And when you try to knock somebody else out, you usually end up on the end of getting hurt, if not knocked out. And that's exactly how that played out this evening. Most definitely. 503. I'm sorry, man. I don't do the on my post fight here. I don't put the links out for this. This is a solo show that I do. I did a show, pre-fight breakdown show earlier, but on my post fights, I don't do a panel or have the guests on. It's just the way it is. If you were in my post fight chats and everything, you would know that, brother. You know, you pop up tonight, but I ain't seen you. Even if you've been out there listening, I ain't seen you. Huh? Where you been? Okay. We have a comment out here from Let God Be True and Every Man Liar. Exposed, exposed, exposed. Told you Devin is a fraud just like Bud. Snack didn't work this time. Let God be true. Never seen you in my chat ever before. And the one thing that we don't do over here is allow people to come out here and be disrespectful, because I don't be disrespectful to the fighters. I have my opinion and I'll say certain things, but I'm starting this show off acknowledging that Ryan Garcia won this fight. Neither man that performed tonight is a fraud. They are professionals. Even though Ryan didn't show much professionalism leading up to this fight, and if you don't happen to like Devin Haney, that's your thing. But what you won't do is be allowed to come over here and flood the chat with this type of rhetoric and everything, because that's not how we get down here on Stormy B Man's channel. You dig? Dritch Richardson is out there, main biker. Cass, Naseem the Dream. Listen, as I was saying, salute to Adrian Viet, who's decided to join the Storm Trackers and become a member of the channel. Welcome to the beginning level as a Todai. That's a new student. Yeah. Welcome. Anyway, as we go forward, Devin was very undisciplined on this evening. Ryan had the table set for him, which was very interesting, because the talk about meeting one another in the center of the ring and having a slugfest, it did not initially appear, according to my thoughts of how things were going to kick off, that would necessarily be a strategy for Devin Haney. But lo and behold, that's exactly what he did. And it was not to his greater interest. He got hurt early in the fight by a big left hook that Ryan hit him on top of the head. And I'm going to tell you something about those punches to the head, man. Sometimes if you get caught like that early on, you could be foggy for the rest of the fight, even if the fight goes the distance, because it catches you as jarring and it kind of like settles in. Sometimes it's a concussion because you have opportunities where you get hit about the head throughout the fight. What I was amazed at was that Devin was constantly in there trying to get at Ryan and was so defensively open. He was wide open. And Ryan played it cool because he didn't take all the opportunities that were there, but he took quite a few. He also had a lot of help from the referee, Harvey Dock. I do not like or care for Harvey Dock. They had Steve Wills in the co-main. I would have preferred to have Steve Wills as the referee and head official in the main event. Harvey Dock has questionable ethics when it comes to refereeing the fight, and they were on high alert and display this evening. The fact that Ryan was allowed to turn his back for more than 3/4 of the fight, and Doc would not issue the warnings or tell him that, a hard warning of, hey, listen, you do this, you can have points taken away, or you can even be disqualified. There were moments early in the fight where he was jumping in when it wasn't really necessary to jump in and start breaking them and stuff like that. But then when he did make his presence began to be felt, like within the first 3 to 4 rounds, I noticed something straight away. Ryan began to put Devin in numerous headlocks and pulling down on him and everything. And there were no warnings about that, really. There wasn't enough of officiating to keep the fight clean. And when you have those type of circumstances, I must tell you, anybody who's been in that situation, if you've ever done any wrestling or anything like that, putting your head beneath another man's shoulder, which is a no-no by Devin. He was very much guilty of that because it takes two. But he was putting his head beneath Ryan's shoulder, and Ryan was easily able to lock him up and put him in headlocks and put him in stress position. Now, what that does over a duration is it saps the energy from your legs. It really does. Devin should know better. Bill should know better. I'm an equal opportunity admonisher of, when you're effing up out there, and they effed up big time tonight. They made no adjustments. They made no concerted effort to turn it into a boxing match, because it's obvious now that you have a guy who can really punch. So you take the punch away from the guy by boxing him. You box a puncher and you fight a boxer. That's the old adage. It has not changed in all these years. So the Haney took a L this evening, and it was a well-earned L, because there were numerous check boxes where they failed on this evening. You don't chase a puncher. You do not. One of the adjustments that could have been made was to make Ryan go forward, to set the traps for Ryan. Coming after Ryan meant that all he had to do was time you with his speed and catch you coming in or catch you going out. And the first time that Devin got hurt in that first round, he caught Devin going out. In the round where he finally dropped Devin, the 7th, he caught him at the end. When he caught him again in the 10th and the 11th, it was in close, because Devin began to drop his hands. I don't know what that was about. You in there with somebody could punch, and you are dropping your hands. No. But all in all, outside of the men battling as they were, it was a good fight. The refereeing was poor. When Devin got dropped that first time in the 7th round, there was some commotion outside the ring that even took the ring announcers by storm, because there were cameramen rushing to one side or whatever, and they were breezing past the men at their commentary table sitting ringside, and they were like, what are these cameramen doing? And I saw that, but they were speaking about it, and I'm like, man, I have to go back and watch that, because what the devil were they doing, man? But it was like they wanted to capture the moment. I don't know. You're cameramen. It's like you're supposed to be in a position to get the action and capture it or whatever, but that was just the strangest thing right there. It kind of reminded me of when Fan Man entered the ring with Holyfield and Bo in their second fight out there in Vegas. Turmoil, chaos. Ryan can't box. He can't. And he's got bad feet. So why was Devin trying to hunt him down like he was a big puncher? You see what I'm saying? The easiest thing to do would be to highlight what he doesn't do well by putting him into a position that he has no choice but to do that very thing. And that would be to be in pursuit. Catch me if you can. I'm the gingerbread man. Yeah. You see, but again, it's understandable how they have the history that they have. I've watched none of their amateur matches, so I am not aware of how those fights went. I'm aware that they split them. And just, you know, as a predictive thing going forward, I'm willing to believe if they fight again, they would probably split the wins as a pro, because common sense would tell me that Devin would be more disciplined in the second fight instead of being so arrogant in the first fight. But maybe not. Maybe Ryan, realizing that he can hurt the guy like he was able to hurt him, could press the action and go for a knockout. But all of these things being said amount to one specific thing. It turned out to be a much better fight than any of us thought it might be. And I come away with a sense and understanding that if you're not going to accentuate what you do best, and you're going to do something that you are not noted for and everything, you can end up as disappointed as what we saw this evening. And I was very disappointed with the performance of Devin Haney. All I was waiting for was for him to go and try to get into a rhythm. But again, by getting caught with that punch early in the first round, he may not have heard a thing his dad was saying to him for the rest of the fight. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example. Shane Mosley and Manny Pacquiao, they fought a fight that was very entertaining. Manny Pacquiao was able to defeat Shane Mosley. But early in the fight, Pacquiao caught, I think it was the third or fourth round, something like that. Pacquiao caught Shane Mosley with a great shot, dropped him. And Shane got up, he kept fighting. But Shane Mosley was on record talking about that fight, and he said that after one of the rounds, he went back to his corner and he asked his trainer, like, what round is this? And they was like, it's the 9th round. Shane didn't remember anything after getting dropped early in the fight by Pacquiao. You see what I mean when I talk about fighters being concussed? It can happen. And remember, because you're boxing, you're getting hit about the head all the time. So you get hit with a shot that concuss you. You don't have to be unconscious to be concussed, but you could be damn foggy, huh? And you steady getting hit up the head, you know, periodically throughout the rounds and the matches and things like that. and you could be somewhere else and then wake up in the dressing room or late in the fight or when they announcing the decision. Marlon Starling was knocked out with a punch at the bell by who was that? Thomas Molinares, I think. Forgive me if I'm getting the opponent's name incorrect, but he was knocked out, counted out. And then he went over to do a interview with Larry Merchant because the fight was on HBO. And Larry Merchant was asking him about the knockout, and he told Larry Merchant, "What do you mean knockout? I wasn't even knocked down." They showed him the replay where he got hit, clipped, and he went down and he was out, unconscious. He didn't have no recollection of that. Immediately after the fight is called, and he's, you know, the people got him up on the stool and everything, and then they let him talk to Larry Merchant, and he had no knowledge of having been knocked out. These things can happen. Why do you think that I'm always out here advocating for the safety and health and well-being for the fighters? That the referees need to step in when things are touchy and they need ringside assistance with oxygen and doctors, instead of letting somebody bleed to death like Tim Tszyu did several weeks ago. You stop the fight. Did they not stop Beck the Bully's fight tonight so they could ensure that Beck the Bully maintained being a winner? Because his opponent, who was bleeding not as bad as Beck, was starting to come on. That round before they stopped it, it was like the guy was tagging Beck with some shots. That doesn't mean he was going to win. But the way Beck fights, he'll walk into something sometimes. You saw it against Rosado. And that's a Golden Boy fighter. So guess what? They had to, you know, hey, pull the trigger on this. Yeah. So when fighters go out there like that, they can be not ready to continue. This is why referees should do their jobs and be important. Now, Harvey Dock could have jumped in between some of that action after Ryan began to get to Devin Haney, because Devin was very vulnerable. He didn't seemingly know how to tie up, hold properly. He was taking shots. Some were missing because Ryan is not that great of a boxer. He can punch, but he missed a lot too. But Devin was able to do enough where time was killed and he survived. Salute to my brother Trick Nolte out there with that super chat. He says, "Larry, I twisted my leg." No, man, you got slept. What's good with you, Trick? I see you out there. Appreciate the super chat, man. But yeah, so this was one of those scenarios where it was, as it went on, you could see that Devin was having a hard time. But even more than the hard time he was having, he was hard-headed. No adjustments. You done clocked me. You done put me down. And I'm just going to get up and still come at you. It's time to stop trying to be macho. The fact that you got up and you're continuing to fight, I recognize that you have guts. The fact that you're a professional fighter shows me and tells me you have guts. Now it's time to use the smarts, the ring generalship. Start to get back on that back foot, because we know that you can box that way. Make the guy pick his feet up and come after you. I'm going to ask the chat something. In the fight against Tank Davis, was Tank chasing Ryan? Or was Ryan coming after Tank? Think about it before you answer, because you may remember certain sequences of the fight, how it ended, the knockdown that occurred early. But as the rounds went on, who was pursuing who? No, Shava, it wasn't both. It wasn't both. See, that's why I ask you to think about it. Tank set traps. Because by doing that, Ryan couldn't crank the left hook up unless he's swinging wild in pursuit. The reason he got dropped in that round, what was that, the second or third round? Excuse me. Was because they were having exchange. And Ryan loaded up to try to land his vaunted punch. And Tank countered him. See, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you think about how I've been critical of Tank, I don't hate Tank. I just think that he should be fighting his contemporaries. But I always give credit where credit is due. He's a better fighter than his people know he is. They just don't want to put him at risk at anything because they're making money off of him. I understand that. At the end of the day, that's as simplified as we can put it. But he took Ryan's best weapons away from him. It's a simple adjustment. Imagine Tank trying to pursue Ryan. He would have got caught with something. It's that simple. So, with that being said, again, it comes down to these factors. I'm hearing that was not necessarily beer Ryan was drinking on the scales in the beer bottle at the weigh-in. I don't know that end of it, but it didn't look good. None of what he did during this promotion looked good. And I still take my stand that if that's who you are, that is not what I want to support or want from the sport. I have seen over the past couple of years at the top of the sport corruption, cheating, and violations of ethics that have made me feel like bad is now good and good is now bad. To be good, people don't want that. To be bad, people embrace it. To be a profane, vulgar person who has a criminality about themselves, that's supported, that's uplifted. If you're a good guy, straight arrow guy, you tell the truth, you stand down, your word is your bond, that's people will flip you off. with the bird. They don't care. This world has truly shifted its paradigm according to scripture. And that's very unfortunate, because even in a fighter like Ryan coming out on top this evening, yes, he's thrown out the Creator's name, but he's also been blasphemous at the same time. So it makes me feel a certain kind of way to know that that's what prevails, that's what comes out on top. I don't know. I don't know that I support that. I want to say salute to I Am True Maine, who became a subscriber to the channel. Appreciate you, I Am True Maine. I seen you out there before, but the fact you've decided to join the Stormybman channel as a subscriber, I appreciate you, man. This is what I give you over here, man. This the straight, you know, boxing conversation and talk over here. This is what I do. There's a few more people who have joined into the chat. Some unfamiliar names, which means that people are feeling a little more, confident in coming in. As long as you're not coming in here trolling, I don't mind. You come on in. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what's up. Right now it's saying that I have over 1,300 people viewed the show already. So you know what? Welcome. That's all I can say. When Stormybman is talking boxing, I'm talking boxing straight up. I don't do the foolishness over here. And there's no pom-poms or nothing like that. I like Haney and his dad because of the men that they are and how they've carried themselves and the fact that he's a good boxer. But this is not delusion over here with what I do, because I will make critical points on all fighters, past and present. Just know that when you come around, this is what I have to offer. But yeah, we've got some names in here. We got, let's see, this is K-Mac, Delano Lehman, Jerome King, Pauls. Who else we got? A few more people out here. Dodge J. Quite a few people. It might be so many I can't get everybody. And if I didn't call your name, that doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. It just means that the building is full tonight. I don't think I've had this many live since maybe Fury and Wilder or something like that, but it's okay. I welcome it. Appreciate you. I Am True Maine out there in that super chat saying salute. Appreciate you with the super chat donation, brother. Yeah. Something else I wanted to say about Ryan Garcia and how he ended up with the success that he had this evening. Though he can't box, he can punch. And he showed something tonight in increments. He showed it against lesser opposition in the past, but when he's got in there with some names like Campbell Soup and the guy that he fought in his last fight, not so much. But he showed it in increments out there with Devin tonight. When he lets his hands go, because he got fast hands, and he punches hard, he puts people in a box. He put Devin in a box. And that's something that they don't take advantage of enough. And I think that's because it's Ryan, not so much his trainer. Ryan is his own person and he does his own thing. Salute to the OG Mr. Mont out there in the super chat. Thank you, brother. He says that y'all press the like button as y'all come in. The Village Brother is out there. And he says Devin didn't lose his belts, right? No, he didn't lose the belt. But you might as well say that the belt is, off the table because he got his ass whooped tonight, man. And that's not something that he's going to be able to brandish until he's able to either avenge that loss or put himself in a better place. Bro T, Top and Blake just subscribe. Salute to you. Welcome to Stormybman channel. Welcome. So yeah. Yeah, it was something that I noticed. The fact that he can run the combinations. He can put his punches together very well. And if he gets someone in trouble, a flurry is either going to make them take a knee, make the referee intervene, or put them down. So those are the type of things that I've noticed. And it's something that to take note of. But that doesn't work the same if you're boxing him. It does not. There's a reason that fighters go away to 8 to 12 weeks training camp. It's like you have to get it in, man. You have to really break down and study your opponents and things of that nature. And for guys that don't necessarily do that, it'll show. And I have to say, they did not show me that they had a backup game plan outside of going in pursuit of Ryan and trying to get him up out of there. I want to address a comment in the chat there from Delano Lehman. He says, 2 things can happen for Devin. Either he is going to be the best one-loss fighter of all time, or if he is not disciplined, like this fight, he can be another Zab Judah. Listen, man. How many losses did Sugar Ray Leonard have? How many losses did Sugar Ray Robinson have? How many losses did Roy Jones Jr. have? Bernard Hopkins, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and so forth and so on. Joe Louis, Jack Johnson. How many losses did those men have? In other words, what I'm trying to say, Delano Lehman, is this. Losing isn't what defines you. It's what you do after losing that defines you. It's like if you slip and you fall. Are you just going to lay there forever? Or are you going to get up and dust yourself off and keep going? Because if you're fighting quality people on a regular basis, they're going to present the option of losing. Because one man's will can never always be at the apex. You can just be having a bad day. And there you go. See, this was not necessarily a bad day for Devin. I'm going to tell you why. I've already told you why. They made no adjustments. If you do not attempt, see, if he attempted some adjustments, then you can say, oh, it was just a bad day. But he didn't. After being knocked down several times and everything, he got up and was still trying to pursue the guy who was putting him on his ass. To be able to prevail, to come back from setbacks. I wrote something on Twitter earlier. And it was after the McComb fight against Arnold Barboza Jr. McComb won that fight, people. And we'll talk about that another time. I may do a video on it, or we'll talk about it on the call-in show tomorrow. But what I wanted to say about what happened there is that Barboza never made adjustments in that fight. But McComb did. When he first came out, the first round, Barboza was able to land a couple of shots on him. But in the second round, Barboza went to launching his right hand because McComb was a southpaw. And he started closing the distance and being more of a pressuring fighter with those right hands against the southpaw position. And what McComb did was made the adjustment in the distance where a lot of the action took place. He basically fought from mid-range to outside and walked Barboza, who had absolutely no head movement. I remarked that he had the head movement of a mannequin. And McComb couldn't miss him. So when he stepped into that place where he was comfortable, he got into a rhythm. And then it really took off against Barboza because Barboza was no longer able to even close the distance properly without taking some punishment. He had this big welt under his right cheek or his left cheek early in the fight. And then later in the fight, he had one on his right cheek. And I was laughing because I was like, he can't get out the way of McComb's punches. And it was funny because he was not winning the fight. But that's a whole nother story to talk about. But I'm giving the example about the adjustment that McComb made. And he did that in a great way. I'm going to tell you something. I'm looking at some of you guys' comments. Hen Dog, it's the same as my channel. Stormybman. Same as my channel, Stormybman. Listen, they're going to go back and look at the tape of this fight and be angry at themselves. They're going to be angry. I don't know if Bill was having a moment because Devin had never been in that type of peril before. But this is also why you need other people to assist, where you can bounce things off of one another. There are some experienced trainers that Bill has worked with in the past that could have possibly assisted and he pulling this victory out tonight after things got going roughly. You see, Devin being hurt by that shot in the first round means that if he comes out in the second round and starts moving around, almost to the degree it's like, oh, Devin's running now. That's a change. Because now Ryan has to switch to a different gear and go into pursuit. But that was not the case. And see, as long as you understand that, then you can understand what I'm talking about the adjustments. Because Ryan didn't really want to go after Devin. He wanted Devin to be in front of him where they can exchange because he has faster hands. But Devin didn't show what I thought he might show. In my breakdown video, I talked about him fighting in close. Being able to fight on the inside is an art, people. Fighters need to learn that. Sometimes the safest place is very close to the opponent. Because guess what? You might be worried about, oh, he might hit me. But he's worried about you might hit him too. Now it's about making him open up to where you want to hit him. There's an art to teaching this in fighting. Just like in the martial arts where they have judo and jujitsu and grappling, there are stages of being able to fight before you get to the ground. And first, you have to be able to be close enough to somebody to do something to them. This is why I talk about the bad trainers out here all the time. Because there's not enough teaching to make these guys better. That fight earlier that saw John Ramirez against David Jimenez, and Ramirez, scrappy, couldn't fight on the inside. He fights good at mid-range, and he's a short dude. So he's performed very well like that. But Jimenez got close to him, so much to the degree that they ended up clashing heads and having cuts and all of that. But Jimenez, that's his fight. And if you're not versed in that, I don't care how sweet your combinations look. I don't care how much power you have. I don't care what kind of hand speed you have and all of that. It don't mean a damn thing. If you can't do the necessary thing by being in close. See, now they have to go back to the drawing board and look at what went wrong. They have to. If they don't, they'll incur the same thing over and over again. Over and over. Yeah, adjustments are very important. I did a Tuesday tussle on making adjustments in fights. See, if some of you watch my content, then you would know these things because I talk about them. I'm very consistent. This is why I can speak like this. But am I disappointed that Devin lost? Yeah, I'm disappointed. Am I happy that Ryan won? Absolutely not. I don't like rewarding bad behavior, and I think that he's been a terrible representative for the sport and everything. But like I said earlier in the comment, seems to be the way of the world now. Good is bad and bad is good. And we seem to have shifted in that. And people, they didn't even cheer for him when he came into the arena because he's been such a jerk to his own people and everything. But now that he's won, guess what? The adornment is going to come back. And do you think that's going to make him better or worse? You see? The way that I speak about it, I can guarantee you that Derrick James doesn't say the things that I say. But I can guarantee you that if I worked with Ryan Garcia, you wouldn't see that version of him that you saw throughout this promotion, because I would not work with someone like that. Sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where we do not cross. There is plenty of opportunity to get better and to gain. But when you're off-road, how do you get traction off-road? My brother Champion Heart is out there. He says, oh, the chat just moved on me. Where was Champion Heart's comment? I'm looking for Champion Heart's comment. He says, inside fighting is definitely an art. And see, that's coming from somebody who fought themselves. Champion Heart is a former fighter, and he could tell you these things just like, and again, listen, I speak fight language. Former fighters, coaches, trainers, I've never had a problem being able to convey what I'm talking about. Only the stubborn will not want to admit to what I bring, because what I bring goes back into the books of how it has always been done. When you try to reinvent the wheel, you just get a lot of clutter. Now, I see some of you talking about certain things like drug testing and all of that. Listen, man, I'm not even going into all of that. You know, I'll save that for the rest of the people that want to, you know, rip apart what's been, you know, talked about or what's been witnessed and all of that. But just know that my take is pretty solid, because if the Haney camp could have made adjustments, you would have seen a bit of a different fight. Ryan is the one that was limited, not Devin. And though Devin can't punch like Ryan, you could still walk a guy into something if you set it up. Knockouts are not necessarily all the time about being the more powerful guy with a punch. It can be about timing and placement, catching someone with something that they don't see. Do you know the best way to hide a punch is to blind somebody. And what do you use to blind somebody? What weapon in boxing is used to blind the opponent? Huh? The freaking jab. Where was Devin's jab tonight? Where was it? It was in the corner over there next to Bill's bucket. He forgot to give it to him when he went back out at round after round. Do you remember in some of those rounds when it was like less than 10 seconds to go, all Devin was doing is standing in front of Ryan, looking at him, taking pictures? Do you remember that? The jab gets you going. The jab can get you into a rhythm. The jab can stop what the other guy is doing. The jab can allow you to rest. The jab can allow you to be offensive. The jab can allow you to be defensive. The jab can be a tactical, strategic weapon. And isn't that one thing that Devin has that's better than Ryan? Come on, man. This is too easy. It's too easy. You could talk about size, you could talk about weight, you can talk about all of that stuff, drugs, alcohol, whatever. But let me tell you something, man. A good fighter is a good fighter. And a good fighter is not going to allow what a perceived advantage be for the opponent to be the determining factor of what success that they may garner. It's as simple as that. They told Evander Holyfield, you're too small to be a heavyweight. 5-time heavyweight champion of the world. 1-time undisputed. 1-time unified. Former cruiserweight undisputed champion of the world. You know, you probably won't hear more direct and forthcoming commentary because I'm not bound by being blind to the sport. I'm bound by being devoted to understanding boxing. All you gotta do is go to Twitter and look at the tweets that I put out Yeah. Because I recognized when the fight changed. And I said something. This fight has changed now. And because the fight changed, and there was no change from the Haney corner, I later said after that, it's over. And we hadn't even made it to the 12th yet. Yeah. I was able to read $1 Trillion Dreams as a comment. Though it may come across as a harsh comment, William, there is some truth to that, because he's speaking about something technically that Devin does. I won't say that he has reflexes of a deer in headlights, but what I will say is he has moments of lapses. And a guy who can have fast hands like Ryan can take advantage of that. And that's exactly what you saw. Yeah. Learn says Stormy has over 100 watching. Probably I feel some agenda eyes watching. Listen, man. This is a channel that has had over 1 million, almost working on 2 million views, okay? But not the subs. Why? Because they come here because there's knowledge. I'm not fooled. Healer the teacher, my brother, what's good with you, man? Hey, Birdman, I just was looking at your description on your channel. I like what you said. He says, I dislike and am allergic to fuckery. Yes. Yes. Powerful. The Village Brother, that's all I do, man. That's all I do. People get mad sometimes because, you know, people invest with their heart, you know. I invest with my head. Salute to Keith Graham, who just subscribed to the channel. There should be far more of you subscribing to the channel, because as I said before, there's knowledge here. But I do also know this. There are some of you big channels out there looking at Stormy If you're not still here, you came in to see what I had to say, and you don't even want to give that credit, huh? But see, that's where you stunt your own growth. Because some of you don't know what I know. And that's not me speaking with ego. That's me speaking, again, sincerely. I've listened to some of you guys, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't have a clue. But he got a couple hundred people in there listening, paying attention. Imagine if he had a clue. You wouldn't have so much fuckery, as Birdman describes it, out here in the streets where people make improper assessments of what they're looking at. And they look for excuses instead of looking at the cause or causality of why maybe your guy that you support didn't get over the hump, huh? Or the guy that you didn't expect did, but you can't really ascertain how that took place. Yeah, you. PGH Big Dog, what's good with you? He doesn't need to add to the team. They've had people on the team that they've kind of put down and discarded. It's time to gain some roots now. You know, one of the best lessons in life is to be tapped on your butt, huh? Because then you recognize, or a bump on the head, huh? Then you recognize. That's all. And Bill can take it as a fact that he does not know it all. He doesn't have all the answers. He has a hell of a young fighter, but he doesn't know it all. And he's gained some knowledge from some very capable people. But it's time to gain some roots. Become a defined fighter. For Devin, what will he be defined as? An outboxer? A boxer puncher? A cutie? Healer, you're gonna have to remind me of what that is, because right now as I'm doing the show and I'm drawing a blank. If you want to send it to me in a email message or a text message or whatever, that's cool. You know, I can't think of what that was right now. Shawa says Devin is the boss. He needs to make that call. Devin doesn't need to think about much right now. He needs to get away from the sport of boxing for a minute and allow himself to absorb what he experienced tonight. Because some of the mistakes he made tonight were like, they were so, I don't even know what the word I would use to describe it, because he should have not made them, but he did. It's going to be interesting how the next few months play out. It's going to be very interesting. No more champagne. What a great comment. It was uncharacteristic for someone so disciplined. I could not have said it better myself. I appreciate that comment because you're absolutely 1000% correct. And that's kind of like what I was shocked that, like, when he got dropped in the ninth, what was that, the 10th and the 11th? It was like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, but see, I'm gonna tell you, Shaw was out there talking about the damage that he sustained to his face and head and everything. Listen, you know what that come from? You know, I did a Tuesday tussle on the defense, right? And I talked about being wide open like a screen door on a summer day. That was Devin tonight. Huh? Flies all in the house, all on mama's cake and everything. Huh? All on your feet while you on the couch sleep, huh? Stinky feet. The flies is right on there because you left the screen door open. Let me answer this question for Shaw. She says, I have two serious questions. One, do you believe Dev rehydrated properly? Two, do you think he was in a fog? Well, to answer the first question, Shawa, he probably rehydrated okay. I don't know that end of it with him because, you know, I'm not able to ask the questions that I would need to know and stuff like that, the answers to. But he looked okay. But your second question, do you think he was in the fog? I've already said early in the show, when Ryan caught him with that left hook to the top of the head and his legs did a little stanky leg move and everything, he could have been concussed from that moment on because he didn't look good at all. And that was early in the fight. He got hit and didn't respond very well at all. I gave examples of other fighters being caught like that and going through situations where they didn't even know what round it was until they woke up later in the fight and stuff like that. A fighter who got knocked out and didn't even know he was knocked out. I gave those examples early. See, this is why I do what I do, Shawa. And I'm not, coming at you, Shawa. Please don't think I am, because I'm not. I'm explaining. This is why I gave those examples, because I want people to understand. When I'm versed in the sport of boxing and I'm talking about these things, I can lay out the scenarios of what I'm witnessing and saying like, oh, this could be this or that. The mere fact that Devin wasn't able to make adjustments in the fight, nor did his dad coach him through 2 adjustments, mean that they were both in the fall. He saw his son getting hurt like he's never been hurt professionally before in the biggest fight of his career, and there's a lot going on. See, I would have been more of the advocate of if they were leading up to this fight and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna take Ryan to school. He's gonna enter college in this fight." That would have been perfect. We're talking about, hey, meet me in the middle of the ring. I bet you Jake Paul ain't gonna tell Mike Tyson to meet him in the middle of the ring. I bet he ain't. How do you let a guy whose best punch is his left hook let it rip and hit you and hurt you early in the first round? You know, when Lennox Lewis fought Tommy Morrison, Lennox blocked Tommy's left hook the entire fight. He had Tommy's eye nearly closed. He dropped Tommy a couple of times, and the ref asked Tommy, "Did you want to continue?" He's like, "Yeah, I still got my left hook." It would have been nice if Tommy had something else. That's right, PGH Big Dog. That's what I just said, right? How does that happen? That's crazy, man. Hey Marcus, food for thought. Ryan was not necessarily executing the things that Derek was telling him to do. Ryan was fighting more instinctively than anything. But he also has past experience with Devin and knew what his strengths were with Devin. From what I heard, there was a fight where he beat Devin quite handily and easily. So with that being said, that's, that's a lot more to do with Ryan than it is with Derek. No, Jared 011 Green, Ray Mercer did not take Tommy's left hook away from him. In fact, he was able to take Tommy's left hook because he had such a great chin at the time that they fought. Tommy unloaded on Ray Mercer like almost every other heavyweight in the division would not have been able to stand up to those shots. And when Tommy got tired and winded, Ray Mercer took over and took Tommy out. That's how that went, brother. Sorry to correct, but not sorry. I have to correct. Salute to Steph Brown back in that super chat. He says, I'm a little behind, but welcome new Storm Trappers. Yes, welcome to the new Storm Trackers and welcome to the new subscribers, because we've got some members that are here and new subscribers. Yeah. Amazing, man. It was a good night of boxing though, really. Overall, I can't complain. It's just that the guy that I would have liked to see win wasn't ready for tonight. You know, he wasn't ready. And I was like, whoa. And I knew it early. When I saw that doggone punch to the head and his knees buckled, I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Isn't the fight just, the bell just rang? Shit. Man. You ever bought an ice cream as a kid, and before you could take the lick off, that the ice cream fall on the ground? You're like, ah! Shit. That ice cream analogy is perfect, man, because that's what it's like. Devin dropped the ice cream cone, man. Shoot. But like I said, they're gonna go back and look at the film and they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be like, why didn't we do X, Y, Z? Why didn't we do, what were we thinking? You weren't. Man. They need to go back and look at my pre-fight video breakdown. I'm like, dude, the game plan was right there. Yeah, but listen, it's getting late, y'all. I'm gonna do the call in. I gotta go to bed, get some rest, cause I gotta get up. But this was a tough night for the Haney corner, man. Tough night. All I can say is, you know, you gotta learn. You gotta learn from your mistakes. You gotta learn. But we can listen to my brother Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yourself something. Somebody says that Devin need a focus ball. Yeah, get one for Devin. Send it on over there to him, because he could do something with that. You know what I mean? He needs some help. But get you some of that Stormybman merchandise as well, man. We got something in the bag for everybody. That's what's up. But listen, it's late, and I know everybody's been out there. You guys have been troopers. I mean, we've had, for this evening's show, we've had almost 2,500 views for the show tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody that came through, the new people, the new subscribers, the new channel members. You know, that's what's up. Put the eyes on the prize, and you'll see that you will be mesmerized. Yeah! Bars. Stormy still got it. But listen, you guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace to you all. Be safe out there. And we will catch you next week. I think we got another fight card coming up. But shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we gone. Peace, everybody.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?